Hello guys, welcome to another video on the channel. Thanks for clicking on another video of mine. I appreciate y'all. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys enjoying the day or two off of football. I mean, I feel like I needed maybe one day off, but then the USA still plays in an hour, so it's not really a day off of football. But I get it, because I know not everybody watches Copa America. Vice versa, I know not everybody watches the Euro. I think more people watch the Euro than the Copa America. Anyways, we had a day off the Euro. We had one more day off tomorrow. There's actually a new promo going on tomorrow. I'm not really here to talk about any of that. That has no relevancy to this video. We're going to get right to the point here. So there is a new game mode on EAFC 25. I want to talk about it because this is actually an honest reaction. I just jumped off my stream and I checked my DMs. And I had a DM and said, yo, check this out. It's a new game mode. It's been leaked. So this is going to be a raw reaction. I don't really know what this is about. And I tried to do the most here with just having this be an organic conversation between you and me. I'm sure you guys would want that more anyways. The only line I have seen here is that the mode is called Penta. So Penta is the new Ultimate Team game mode. Before I read into any of this, what I want to talk to you guys about is this. FIFA and FC at this point is now needing change, and it's very much lacking, in my opinion, originalness. And what I mean by that is that FUT Draft has been the same. We get a random draft objective every month or two, if we're lucky. FUT Champs has no difference. Division Rivals has not much difference. The rewards are a little bit more worth playing, and the mode is okay, but we do have friendlies. Now, I'll say this. There's objectives and friendlies and things to do nonstop. We've never really had that. We had that last year to start, and now it's crazy. The issue that EA have presented is two problems in their game right now. I'll tell you what the problems are. There's no casual mode. There really isn't. Friendlies are based on your division. If you're watching this video and you didn't know that, now you know that. That's why if you're in Division 2 and Division 1 or Elite Division, you're playing against people that are very good. You know, in the old days, I would say that the casual mode was we had the division seasons, and those were casual because even if you're in Division 1, you could play people from Division 2, Division 3. It was within 3 divisions. It wasn't this ultra, this game means the entirety of my life to get the promotion to Elite Division, whatever it might be. The problem right now is that EA overall don't have a good balance of game modes in the game. If you're an Ultimate Team player, you surely can agree with that. And there's going to be people that disagree, saying there's tons to do. You're not wrong. The problem is there's not a lot of fun with this game because EA doesn't allow you to have fun. So something for a few years that I've been really asking for is, you know, some type of mode that is like a FUT Champs qualifier. And maybe they just leave a FUT Champs qualifier because the matchmaking, you play somebody pretty good, you play somebody not so good, play somebody bad, and it kind of is very variable. So maybe you play it the first time, those rewards are tradable, then it's untradeable. You know, that's a scenario that I think going forward for EA could be very useful because, you know, for me, I'll be real. I am a above average player on this game. So I benefit from being able to change my team. A lot of people with how strict the meta is this year can't afford to try out different cards. And even when I do that, it's still not fun because this game has become so you have to play the most effective way or it's not fun. So, you know, I'm not here to talk about gameplay. I'm here to talk about modes. That's the first thing. The second thing, the shame on EA for not creating a mode that you can play with your friends. And what I've always said is they need a ton. They need to do a whole separate co-op Division Rivals ladder. They need to do co-op Weekend League. EA have really missed out on a lot of potential to grow their game with creators that have huge audiences, huge athletes to play, right? Doing collabs, collab Weekend League, collab Rivals. The way that EA has it formatted with the co-op and the Division Rivals, it's not it, man. It's not it. It's still way too sweaty. And at least in a Weekend League or a FUT Champs qualifiers, it is sweaty. But it's this more concept of you have a little bit more of that open matchmaking. And, you know, I just think viewership-wise, that's something EA has really missed out on. So I just wanted to intro that. I think EA are really missing out on a little bit more of a not too easy mode, but like somewhat casual mode to kind of just have that open matchmaking feeling. Kind of like the old Call of Duties with no skill-based matchmaking. That's what I mean. Some games they'll be tough, some games they won't. That's why I think some of these games that I played recently have been great, like X-Defiant. Some of the games were hard, some of the games were easy. Okay, the second thing is playing with friends. So let's get into this. We're going to get right into it. I've done a little bit of a waffle, but I think those are very important to keep in mind. So the new Ultimate Team game mode is this. It's called Penta, and it's being reported from a couple guys on Twitter. Shout out to them. The mode is 4 human players, 1 goalkeeper AI, versus 4 human players and 1 goalkeeper AI. So I believe that clearly it's going to be a 5v5 mode, and it seems like it's going to be 4v4 with a goalkeeper. So it's a 4v4 mode, which is interesting. The second we've got a 10-step process here. It looks like You pick a player from your Ultimate Team club and control just that player. I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know if this is going to be like positionally, and that's something we don't really know yet. Center back, maybe 2 center mids, a striker, or maybe you could just pick anybody and put them in any position. You could just fill in. You can group with up to 3 other friends who do the same. Okay, so 4 human control players is the most you can have in this mode. So it's 4 people. So it's almost a little bit more of a pro clubs vibe, because I always feel like with pro clubs, you know, some people play like full 11 people. Some people do like 4 or 5 and have somebody on control any. So this is going to be coming into Ultimate Team. You can also choose to randomly drop in with 3 unknown players. So again, that's like, you know, Fortnite if you wanted to go play and you just did Phil, right? You don't have friends to play with. You want to play squads. The pitch will be smaller, adjusted to 5v5. That's cool. I would assume, just from my experience, like when I play 7v7, it's like usually like 60 yards, 70. It'll probably be like 50, 40 yards is my opinion. We'll see. The pitch will have grass, regular kits. There will be many objectives inside this game mode, and some of them, not all, will have requirements like max 75 rating, max 85 pace. This game mode does not replace squad battles. It will be an extra mode inside of Ultimate Team. That's interesting why that had to get clarified. Squad battles is getting revamped in EAFC 25. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. This is not everything, but let's just break this down real quick. So we've got a game mode in FIFA right now, which is called Volta. Nobody plays it. Like, when I tell you nobody plays it, nobody plays it. They've added some cool stuff in Volta with different game modes. It's a cool concept. The problem is the motive and the overall fun of it. It doesn't have that aura. It doesn't have that factor that makes you want to play it. So I think at the end of the day, unless EA out of nowhere comes up and makes the most goated product of all time, which we haven't seen, you know, we haven't seen people really like hooked or really love a FIFA game. It's been a minute for sure. It's been a minute for the overall community to say, hey, like, this game is amazing. I can't stop playing this game. Do I feel confident that will happen in FC 25? Absolutely not. Let's just be honest. So there's going to have to be, in this game mode, in my opinion, motive. Now, one positive already here is that playing games with your friends is way more fun than playing solo. Pretty much anyone would tell you that. Not everybody, but a lot of people would. Just the interaction of being on the call with your boys, playing the game, it's way better. For creators, it's better. For viewers, it's better. And again, this is just another mode that's being added, which is an option. Okay? Here's my thoughts on it. I think it's important that there is objectives. I don't know. There's nothing in here that says there's going to be rewards. I don't know how this works. Is this going to be another situation where this is like a friendly? Do the stats count? So that's something we have to consider with this new mode, Penta. Or is this just going to be a Volta revamp? So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I would assume if you randomly drop in with 3 unknown players, or you could group up with 3 other friends, I would assume most likely this is going to be no SPMM. I don't know how they would be able to add SPMM. I mean, the queue times would be ridiculous if they had it with that many people, I would assume. And, you know, I'm assuming that it will probably be either 2 ways. They'll either have it like a timer, or they'll have it like a target score. One of the two. So either first to this score wins in a 5v5 or timer. I'm assuming it's probably going to be a timer. So it'll be similar to just playing a normal game. It won't be 11v11. It'll be 5v5. It says, don't forget that this information is available from the EAFC 25 testing period, and the official game will be released in 2 months. So EA may change some things until then. It says, okay, so the second part, I want to say for the first part, I like this. I think having the objectives is really important because, you know, regardless of if the game mode is good or not, if they have objectives, that's good for people to play it because it will motivate people to play it and you know, do the objectives and stuff like that. So my curiosity internally here is there a way that EA, you know, we don't know all that much about this mode yet. Obviously, this is the first time we're hearing about Penta. You know, is there going to be like Penta rewards? Is there going to be some sort of ladder here? Is it like, you know, and it doesn't even have to be like weekend league. It doesn't even have to be like rivals. Like the fun of just even playing like seasons and getting like, if you play 10 games and you progress and you get up in a certain division, or you get up in a Penta rank, you know, do you get a certain amount of coins, right? So seeing that would be interesting. You know, it's the same thing that like all these games, Call of Duty, Fortnite, right? Everybody's always working towards something. So that's a huge concept of gaming nowadays, is that you're working towards something, a new gun, a new camo, a new, maybe a new skin, a new trait, a new, something like that would be worthwhile, is going to be very important. But overall, it's a W because it looks like at least maybe EA is putting in some invested effort into the idea of gaming with friends, which I think EA have just been really lacking on. And I think at the end of the day, it's killed the growth of the game, because the games that are succeeding so much right now, there are exceptions, but are the ones that, you're playing with your friends. I think that's very important on gaming right now, to have that inclusivity of playing with people. Now, this is where I'm confused. Squad battles is getting revamped, okay? Like, the problem with EA for me, man, is that, like, their priorities most years are in the wrong places. So I don't understand why we're getting a squad battles revamp, because squad battles is fine. I don't understand. I feel like EA really, like, use their energy in the wrong places. Like, there's no need to revamp squad battles. Like, literally zero need. So I don't know who asked for that, but over the years, it's been frustrating because, like, there was this whole marketing on, on Volta, right? And Volta was like, a super hyped up situation with Volta. And, overall, it looked cool, but even pre-release, nobody was, like, ultra hyped about it. So I think EA needs to really figure out their community. And, it's one of those where this really hasn't been touched since it was dropped. So is essentially what EA doing, trying to find a way to get people to play Volta, and is Penta, because Penta sounds similar to Volta. So is that basically just going to be a Volta reskin, and is it going to be another year of the major marketing is not really that good? What I mean by that, and I'm really not trying to be negative here, I wasn't feeling too good about this whole playstyle situation, right? Because I felt like playstyles were very similar to traits, and I didn't understand why we had to just rename it. Why couldn't EA work on other things? The pace of the game, the overpoweredness of the defensive AI. But no, they had to, like, do this traits situation with pluses, right? And really, it's made the game glitchier than ever and terrible. And like 2K went this route with the I think it was the badges. Just I felt like over the years, EA really just try their best to work on adding things for marketing purposes, not actually what we want. And I think what a lot of the community wants is what I've mentioned here. I think we want, like, modes to grind with friends that have meaning, and I think, like, what the setup that EA has right now, if they just, like, duplicated it with whatever, right? Rivals, there's some sort of draft revamp, or they like, they pull from the old FIFA, they add the online seasons onto the current game and just have that as a supplement with Division Rivals. Doesn't matter. You could have both. It doesn't matter. Online seasons is different than Division Rivals. Rivals is the comp mode. Online seasons is the semi, sweaty but trying teams, because we don't have that. We don't have this whole, like, try teams mode. It's just sweat. It's all in sweat everywhere. And then, look, if they just duplicate the Division Rivals, right, and the Division, the Weekend League, right, and make those co-op, and, if they wanted to, they could run them at the same time. They could also run, the Weekend League co-op in the week. I don't really care. I'm just saying, even those simple changes, you look at FC24 as a whole with this game this year, the gameplay we have. If you put this gameplay on next year's game, copy-paste, you added co-op Division Rivals and co-op Weekend League, you added you brought back from an older FIFA online seasons, just chucked it in. No SBMM, right? You work your way up. It's Division 1 to 10 or Division 1 to 5. Maybe it's Division 1 to 5. Division 1 to 5, that's fine. Beautiful. It, like, the gameplay, that's what I think EA struggled to understand. The gameplay, and then they can add stuff like Penta, and we don't, that's cool. If they want to add that because they want to sell this to their hey, pre-order this game, it's $110. That's fine, because I think that would be so more than enough. And it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating because even, like, today, we're going to post a video about it later. We went back on Black Ops 1. The servers work perfectly fine. So they have the servers in those old games, and I don't know how it works, but I thought it was on Microsoft. I thought it was on all that. And apparently, like, EA just stopped paying for the old servers, right? So they only have FIFA 22 and higher, 23, EAFC 24, and yeah, that's all the ones that are working, because, it's just frustrating with EA, man, because I'm like, I think there's a lot of opportunity for these guys. We see what FORTNITE has done recently, where FORTNITE, like, just brought back OG, and they just did it again. Basically, they brought back OG. It was like 11 million people, right? And then it kind of died off with the next few seasons. They just brought back OG FORTNITE Reload. Everybody's playing it. It's a lot of fun. So it's one of those ones where, like, EA can be very frustrating, because I think at times as a community, we know what they should add. We know what they can do. And they do things that we don't want them necessarily to do. So Penta is the new game mode. I'm worried that it's a little too similar to Volta is the bottom line. Just even with the name and how it is, it seems like it's going to be a 5v5. The bottom line is that you can choose a player, you play with your friends. It's unknown a little bit more than that. It's pretty early on to have leaks, but it's unknown if we have any, real rewards, any real grind, what's going to be to it, or is it just going to be like weekly objectives and you go into Penta and you're doing your homework? Because I felt like that's something that people have been saying, that a lot of the time this year, the game feels like you're doing your homework. And the last part is that I don't know why Squad Battles is getting revamped, because nobody really nobody asked for that. So, guys, get in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. The reason I want to make this video is that on the chance that an EA employee hears this, I just want to reiterate what I have been asking for 5 years, which probably won't happen, but I think it's very important that they understand, if they can invest the time and effort, it would be appreciated from the community if we could have changes to the core game modes. And what I mean by that, and I know that the EA employees sit there and say, well, these guys always complain and want something else. We fixed rivals. We made champs less games, whatever, right? We want to have those modes to be able to have the option to play 2v2, 3v3, whatever it is, whatever you want to allow, right? And we also want to see an online seasons coming back so we can try different teams. I can't tell you the amount of times I want to try different teams, and I feel way too intimidated. I feel way too annoyed when I'm going into like champs or rivals, because I'm like, okay, this game is so pure meta. It doesn't really allow for that. So that's the news we have right now in Penta. That's what we know. We don't know anything more than this, so we'll have to stay tuned and see, what else surfaces. But anything new that gets dropped, guys, I will keep you guys posted, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. Hopefully you guys have a good evening. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.